All right, I am so excited. Denette, thank you so much for joining us today. We're just going to go ahead and dive into the topic of pain to profit, but I would like us to start to have you introduce yourself, Denette. Can you tell everyone who's listening who you are?
Yes, hi Dee. Thank you for having me. I'm Denette Covarrubias, founder of Denector, and I make products and services that specialize in connecting personality to the soul so that you could truly understand what your heart desires and then actually manifest it.
Oh my gosh, that's so exciting. I'm so grateful that you are doing this session with me. I am so ready to dive into this topic because I think it's something that is very much needed to be discussed and really looked into. And so I am just so excited to have you. First of all, I just want to ask you, how are you?
Thank you. You know what? It's been this COVID-19 thing is nuts. Like, I cannot believe we're living during this time to experience what's going on. And like to go outside, and if you're not walking on the right side of the street, a cop pulls you over to tell you to walk on the different side. Like that's what's going. I'm in San Diego, and that's what's going on in San Diego. If I'm not walking on the right side of the beach, I have to they'll pull you over. So it's such a different experience. I'm not going to say it's negative. I'm not going to say it's positive. Whatever it is we're going through, there's definitely a lot of opportunity for entrepreneurship. And now is a better time than ever to get yourself out there and ask to receive back the value that you give out. So I think there's a lot of opportunity, but yeah, I'm great with that.
I love Yeah, I always think that there's always an opportunity to extract the gift in what we're going through. And I know that it always doesn't look easy to do that. But I feel like for myself, when I made that mental shift of, this does not feel right. This does not look good. This feels yucky. But if I extract the gift in it and find the positive, and then it will just feel so much better. And so I completely agree with you. And I'm just excited to talk about this because when we were discussing possible topics, I always think of turning your passion to profit. So you can tell me a little bit more about why you decided to focus on turning your pain into profit.
Yeah, well, I talk about this from my own experience. This is how the creation of Vector was born. I mean, it was a 3-year process to understand what it is I actually do, but still it started off with pain. And the reason why it's not the same as passion of profit, the difference is passion might not lead to results for other people. You're passionate about something that doesn't provide results for your clients. Whereas pain started with pain and you've overcome it, then that means you can show tangible results to your clients. So for me, pain to profit is much more tangible and easier to do than passion and profit.
Right. No, I love that concept. And so can you give us some tips when it comes to really digging deep and extracting that pain point that you can turn into a profit?
So I took this, this whole journey started, I took this course from, it's called actualize.org. Shout out to Leo from actualize.org. He's an amazing coach, but I took this course from him, and the course was finding your purpose. Okay. And so, and this is how I ended up discovering what it is that I could help people with. This advice is from him. He said, figure out what has caused you the most pain in your life. Think about all the painful moments, but what really given you the most pain and that you've overcome? What pain in your life has been so monstrous, but you've overcome it, and now you're like on the complete opposite side? And so for me at that time was, I had so much pain because I didn't love myself. I found value in my value is not because I was just me. My value is in, did I have a title? Did I have certain money? Did I have a boyfriend? Did I have a certain car? I needed all those things for me to feel valuable. And that was painful because all those things were taken away. I was never just whole. I was never just complete because none of that stuff is permanent. And so I realized that was my pain point. That's what hurt me the most. And I overcame that. And that's when I realized, okay, this was the most pain I've ever had in my life. I've overcome it. I know how I overcame it. So like jot down your notes. Once you realize what has been your pain point most of your life, and then that's something you've overcome, and then jot that down in a notebook, because that might be your future course. That might be your future business. Write down all you can remember, how you felt, what you to overcome it, what resources you used to overcome it, and then that might be your next course. And that's what happened in my case.
Wow, I really think that that's an awesome tip, because I know for the people who are watching or listening that a lot of us use journaling and to really be able to find an escape on just working out through feelings or, you know, whatever it may be. But I love the perspective and the concept of taking something that you've written down and translating that to an opportunity that it is to make profit and build a business around it. So like for me, I know that I love the art of storytelling. And I think that it's something that is, you know, has been lost. You know, we're built, I believe that our DNA is built on being able to tell our stories and pass traditions and, you know, things that we do in our culture. And so lots of times the things that we go through that may not be pleasant and that are hard for us, when we speak them out loud, I feel like it gives a possibility to unlock somebody else's prison. And I'm not the originator of that quote. That's not my quote. But I interpret it like that, right? You know, and so being able to take a pinpoint and build a business around it to produce profit to better your life, it's like you took something ugly and bad and then made it beautiful. And so I absolutely love that concept. And so can you tell me a little bit, walk me through of how that journey looked for you? Like, how did you start to uncover that and really produce a profit?
Yeah, and that journey brings their own set of pain. Yeah. You know, that journey has its own set of pain because you start to realize, oh, wait, people don't believe in me. Oh, wait, people are laughing at me. Oh, wait, am I just crazy to think that this dream could actually be a reality? And then so you really have to get in with yourself and be okay with just you being your own cheerleader. And that could be painful. So that journey might bring on its own set of pain. But the way it looks for me is I realized what brought me the most pain. And I also realized what I did to get out of that pain. And I did different techniques. I've always been obsessed with self-awareness. I've always been obsessed with discovering the truth of my identity and self-expressing it, because I've always been obsessed with, I believe communication is the foundation of our mindset, right. Particularly how we talk to ourselves. And so I wrote down all the things that I believed in, all the things that I overcame, and then my favorite way or my best way of articulating that. Was it through video? Was it through writing? Was it through being behind the scenes and maybe drawing a picture about it? So I really analyzed what is my best way of getting that message out. But I think the first most important thing, it really has to be something that you could provide results to your customers. Like if you have never done it for yourself or for other people, then right now, then maybe you should wait until you actually provide those results for other people. So it has to be something you've overcome. And then you write down all the techniques that you did that. And like I was saying, back to the self-awareness, if you start using maybe personality reports, maybe for me personally, I use astrology, I use numerology. Other techniques could be therapy. I did a lot of therapy. Oh my gosh. to different techniques to get that self realization so that you could understand what it is you offer to people and what it is people need from you. That way you can market your product better too.
Right. No, I absolutely love that. And thank you for sharing that process and kind of what that looked like to you. And so what did you find through all those, through all that was your biggest challenge in going through that process?
The biggest challenge, well, for the entrepreneurship was just figuring out what my message is. Like,
Okay.
how do I articulate what I could do for you?
Yeah.
So that was very difficult. And honestly, I don't think I've still pinpointed it because I feel like my message minimizes what I could actually do. And I think a lot of people could understand that what I'm saying. And so I think the message, identifying the message and articulating what it is I do in one sentence has been the most difficult throughout this journey for sure. And then
Okay.
as far as mentally, the most difficult part has been just being alone at it, just like, or not, you're not necessarily being alone, but at least feeling alone because
Right.
nobody's on your journey with you. And you could have a full support team and a full great.
Right. So it looks like we're having a little bit of a technical difficulty. So just bear with us here a minute.
I lost
Okay.
it.
We're back.
Yeah, we're back. Okay. Yeah. So
you know, that's the beauty of doing something live, right? It's just embracing, you know, the hiccups that we go through. And so
yeah, I love it.
It's all good.
That's part of this journey also is like letting challenges hit me because I figured out like if it's uncomfortable or if it's a challenge, I should probably be doing that. Because if it's always easy and not comfortable, I'm going to stay the same. So it's like, go ahead, throw whatever you got at me because it's just an opportunity for me to overcome it. So I've learned that throughout the journey as well.
Oh my gosh, that is like so on point. And I think that's something that we don't discuss too often is embracing the challenges that we go through because it's not that it shouldn't, but it's not always going to look good and it's not always going to look perfect, right? But it's through those moments where we grow. And like, I completely wish that I would have been mentored at a young age or something that I would have picked up, you know, as a message while going through school is that if you want something, you have to not only work hard at it, but you have to also embrace the challenges through it.
Mm-hmm. Like I know for me personally, what I realized in my own head, what was going on. And now because I'm aware of it in myself, I can see it in others is like, I was afraid to look like a beginner. I was afraid to look like I'm just starting out. I was afraid to look like I knew less than the next person next to me. And so that mindset stopped me from even starting. And
that's such a legitimate feeling. You know, that fear is real, and that fear is so real was for so many people that are either viewing this or listening to this. And so I would like to dig that thought a little bit deeper, you know, because when we're facing a fear, I feel like you're right. The immediate consequence of it is that you don't start, right? Because you're paralyzed and living in that spot or in that feeling. And so how did you work through having a legitimate fear of not wanting to even start? Like, how did you overcome that simple roadblock of just starting?
I made a video of all my secrets, shame, and guilt, and then paid Facebook to advertise it.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. So I figured the more people that see what has been holding me back, like just whatever I felt like made me shameful and guilty, and that I was scared of people seeing in me or scared of people knowing of me, I just let it out on video and then literally had Facebook advertise it. And I forgot how many I got, like 20s. I got so many views. I don't remember. It's been a long time. But that was the first step to overcoming fear. And because fear comes down, in my experience, it comes down, it's always normally why you're scared, because you're scared about what someone's going to think of you.
Right.
And so I knew I had to get over that hump. I knew I had to be like, I don't give a fuck what these people are thinking of me. And I am going to let it all out. And that way, kind of like an 8 Mile, Eminem, when he was like,
yes.
Like, what are you going to tell me? I just told you everything about me. What are you going to say back to me? And he couldn't say anything. I did that same thing, but with a video in Facebook. And ever since that, I just been kind of, and I get every day is less and less caring about what people think.
Wow, that's amazing. That is so bold and brave. Like, if you're listening or watching, I hope that is the thing that you write down, or at least take away from this interview right now, because to have that fear and then be that gutsy and bold to put yourself out there in that way that is vulnerable and transparent, like, I admire that completely, because I think that a lot of people, it's hard to be that vulnerable. It's hard to be that transparent. And that's something that necessarily we don't inherit from the people that we grew up with, right? It's like something that has to come from the inside of you, where you challenge yourself to break through that chain and just put yourself out there in that way. So I myself find it so, it's a quality that I admire in someone that can do that, because I know how much for even myself, just to put myself out there like that, it's hard. And you're right. Like, when you dissect it, a lot of it is rooted on what people are going to think of you, And so I know that's a whole thing. That's a whole nother subject, workshop, webinar, conference that we can talk about just on that alone.
We could talk about that for like 20 years. I feel like there's so much to that. But what's funny is, after I did that video, after like a year, Gary V came out with a video saying pretty much to do the same thing. He was telling his audience, do this, exactly what I did. And so I'm telling you, it works. Just let everybody know all your business. And when I say all your business, the stuff that you feel shameful and guilty for, let people know. And the reason why, for me, my experience is because then you realize you're not the only one. It's so shameful and guilty because you feel like you're the only one that made that dumb mistake, or that you're the only one who's a loser in your head, until you realize, wait a minute, you're saying there's 3 million other people who did this?
Right.
And it just takes you to a whole new level.
No, that is so true. Yeah, that's definitely an amazing view on how to conquer a fear. And it's something real and attainable that you can put yourself out there. I think it was, I was scrolling through social media one night, and I ran into Mel Robbins, and she had said that she has so many people contacting her through whatever platform, asking her questions on how do you do this or that. And the thing that I took away from this moment is that she said something so real, that we have every platform accessible to us. And, YouTube, whether it be Facebook or Instagram, IGTV, Facebook Watch, and you can literally record yourself or go live and start to build a platform for yourself. And so I like that you took something that most of us wouldn't have thought of and used it to your benefit on heading into the direction of making profit. Because having a video where you're transparent and it's, you're sharing information that is really hard talk about, but you took it one step further where you monetized it, or you used the ads on Facebook to get a broader audience. And so tell me, like, what was the feedback that you got? Like, I can only imagine the people viewing these videos, like what they must have said in viewing it. Like, and I mean that in the way that when I am vulnerable and I put a post, whether it be on whatever platform, and I have this moment of reflection, and I'm writing text down that walks whoever's viewing this post from how I got to point A to point C, and it's most likely a tough thing that I went through, and I write it, and the feedback that I get is like, Domenica, thank you for putting that out there. Like, it's just insane, the support when I'm that transparent. So how did you feel that the feedback was through these videos?
I got so much support and so much love, and that's actually what helped me get a following. And it's also helped me realize, wait a minute, this was really valuable pain, or really, this was real pain that real people go through. And I have healed myself from that pain, and I could show other people how to heal too. And that's when it all started, is after that video, after being open about it. And
well, it looks like we are having technical difficulties again. So we'll wait a moment here to let the internet catch up. But this is usually what happens when you're in the flow and doing something live. So hang in there with us. Looks like we're refreshing, and yes.
Yeah, I ended up getting like speaking gigs from it. I have 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 4 products. I'm working on my 5th product, which is an online course.
Okay.
And that online course is just from things I have gone through but have overcome, and knowing which steps I did to overcome that, because you don't want to overwhelm people either. You don't want to just give them all the information you have, because they don't need all that. So really identifying what steps did I really take that gave me this specific result. And then you start with the result. Like, if you want to start turning your past pain into a profit, you start with the result that you're trying to give people. Label that on a piece of paper. What result do you want to give people? And then break it down in 6 steps. Try to do it in 6 steps under that result. Step 1, what did you do? Step 2, and then break it down if you can. You don't need something that takes 20 steps. It doesn't mean it's any more valuable because it's longer. Simplify it and take out the junk not that it's junk, because it's actual stuff that get you where you are, but take out the stuff that's just too much for people, and give them the simple things that you did that actually got you the result you got. And it starts there, and then you just keep working at it. And what I mean by working at it is you keep making connections and telling people about your amazing products. And if it comes down to you are embarrassed or ashamed, because why would anyone want to pay you? The mindset that I have created for myself to overcome this fear, and I've created it by repetition, because a belief is something that you what's the word I'm looking for? Repeat in your head, it becomes a belief. So one of the beliefs that I still to this day repeat is, I am gold. I pretend I inhale gold flakes. When I'm running, it's raining, I pretend it's gold, because gold is worth so much. So you are giving a valuable, life-changing, priceless information that will bring someone to the result they need to change their life. You should, of course, be compensated from that.
No, that's amazing. And you touched on 2 very good things that I believe it's good for our viewers and our listeners to understand, that like also having the vision of it as well, and believing that you are this person. And I love that you said that you start off by saying, I am gold, and reflecting and visualizing that gold entering you. So I know early on my entrepreneurship journey, I learned that technique. And I would, it's almost kind of like fake it till you make it, but I don't live by that, because I believe eventually you want to be the make it, right? And so I don't, it took me a while to get over that hurdle of, oh, I'm just pretending to be this person. No, this person already lives inside of you, and you are this person. But so when I started to shift that mindset was when I learned that technique of visualizing and stepping into that person already. And so when you said that, you reminded me that one birthday year, I got a bottle of wine that had gold flecks in it. So I gotta get this girl this bottle of wine, because not only does she visualize this gold and speak the gold, but she can also actually drink it. Right? So,
Did somebody get that for you, or did you get it for yourself?
No, so it was a birthday present. Actually, my brother-in-law got it for me one year, and it's at Bevmo is where you can find this bottle of wine. And I think, if I recall, it was like the label was numbers. It was like a fancy 15 or 16. It was like numbers on the label. But what distinguished this wine bottle is that it had gold flecks in it, and then it lights up at the bottom. So it was a very fun bottle of wine. And, anybody who knows me jokes around that I spread glitter. And there's a backstory to that story, is that I had one year I found 2 bags of gold confetti in my pockets. I didn't know that it was there. I hadn't wore this outfit in a while, and I completely forgot that I had placed it there. And so whoever I was around with, I was like getting the gold confetti out of my pockets and just throwing it in the air. And so that's where it stayed. It followed me, like, oh, Dominic, I thought about glitter. I thought about you. And so one year they got me, my sister and him got me that bottle of wine that had the gold flecks in it. And so we need to get you this bottle of wine.
So that's, you bring up a good, I look at those as a guide or a sign. So like once you start becoming the woman that you've already been, that you were born to be, your true self, you've just eliminated all those negative and false beliefs about yourself, and you created new ones. You will start getting signs that, oh my gosh, I'm on the right track. For example, you received a bottle of wine with gold in it when you've been telling yourself you're gold, and that you inhale gold. I mean, that's a sign. Right. And then it just kind of gets bigger and bigger from there. You start believing in yourself more and more from there. And then all of a sudden you start seeing all these signs that you're on the right track. And you start seeing them once you start knowing your worth, like knowing your true value, because you're born gold. You just forgot. You just forgot. You've been treating yourself that you're not gold. And so once you start doing that again, you start getting signs that, oh yeah, I am gold.
Right. And that is so true, because it's like when I'm sure you've heard this analogy that when you buy a car and it's a certain make and model and color, that literally the minute you drive off of the parking lot, you start, or the lot where you bought the car is where you start seeing the same color car, the same make and the same model. So that, to me, that's how I interpret it. Yeah. But it is so true. And Denette, like, I admire you because you took, you're able to walk someone through the process of literally taking a pain point and making a profit out of it. And I think lots of times we don't think that deeply, that really, because you overcame it and you found a solution, you can teach other people how to overcome it as well. And so really what it boils down to is that for anything that you've gone through, that you have come out on the other side and have that solution, that can be converted into an opportunity where you can help others not only like overcome that, but also live a better life in the sense that, you know, you just opened my mind to the things that I didn't even think of I can help others overcome, you know?
It's sharing our gifts. I mean, like every like religion, a spiritual teacher in the world pretty much say our point or purpose to here is to share our gifts. That's our gifts. Like that is our gift. We went through this journey for a reason. We could use it. We could use it as a resource for someone else. And we need to be able to do it full time. So that means we receive what I like to think of it is a certificate of appreciation. People give you a certificate of appreciation for the value you gave them. That's all it is. It's an exchange of two different values.
I love that. Yeah. Thank you so much for walking us through that process and giving us a bit of a glimpse on how that looked like for you. But I know we are coming to the end of our time.
No, it's such a good conversation.
I know. And I definitely think that we can dive into a series of conversations, you and I, because definitely just taking some of the things that we talked about just alone in this time together, it is enough to do a couple more things with, right? Especially when you're talking about belief and your worth. Like that's a whole nother high horse that I could get on, and I know you can too. But I wanted to make sure that before we close that you tell everyone how they can connect with you. And I want to point out our amazing ticker on the bottom that shows where they can connect with you on Facebook. But if you can tell our viewers and our listeners where to find you on social media, and then share like what's the next thing that you're working on that everybody can help you with.
Okay, so make sure you connect with me on Facebook because I have an awesome 7-day challenge, Breathing Your Way to Happiness going on right now, which is just breathing for a minute, fast, as hard as you can through your abdominal, through your, what's the word I'm looking for? It's not abdominal, it's diaphragm. Yes. Diaphragm breathing. And so for 1 minute for 7 days. So definitely connect with me. And the winner, well, not winner, because like I said, we're all winners, but I'm going to do a drawing at the end and people could win a free customized personality report. That's one of my products. And where I use numerology and astrology to break down your personality to show you what you've been hiding from yourself. So I connect the dots for you that answers questions that you may have about your personality or about your life. And it's super dope. So definitely connect with me on Facebook, on Instagram at Denette Marie Covarrubias. I'm doing a video for 60 days right now with breathing techniques, meditation techniques, self-awareness techniques. I'm giving away so much free content right now that I paid for throughout the years. So connect with me there. You can connect with me on denector.com where I have my products listed and just more about my story, more about what I believe in, more about my background. And I'm currently working on an online course, but I decided instead of just doing the course, and it's about how to manifest your soulmate in less than 6 months, because that's what like I said, it is something I literally did for myself. I have proof of pictures and I know exactly what I did to do it. And so now, because I've done it for myself, I'm going to turn it into a course. I'm going to charge $49 for the course, but I am going to do like a pilot test first. So I'm going to do some testing with it to see what works best for people. So you want to keep that in mind when you start to write out your course. And that is, and as far as like how you could help me, I could really use help I know I have a tendency to always want to teach and preach because that's what my comfort zone is. My comfort zone is I want to teach you and I want to preach you and I want to show you the way. Okay. So I want to move from that Denette and I want to be the Denette where I'm connected with you like this, like you and I are like this. I'm not preaching and I'm not teaching. I want to be a student and I don't know how to do that. So how this is how you could help me. You could come into my life and just make small talk with me because I don't know how to make small talk and I want to learn how to do that.
Oh, I love that. And I'm sure that our listeners and our viewers will definitely reach out and connect with you. Because what I love about you is the passion and the wanting, the desire to help others. And that's really what I love the most about you. And, you know, your heart just shines through you. And I love the ability to be able to connect with you in this way and help you know, give you the platform for others to get to know you on in a different level and in a different way. So I'm super excited for everything that is coming your way. You know, thank you for giving us a little bit of your time today. And definitely we'll have to talk again and dive into some of these other things that we touched on today. And I'm just excited. And so I'm going to end by just utter gratefulness and thank you everyone who listens today and that is also joining us through our live stream and watching us. So thank you, thank you, thank you. We could not do this without you. And signing off.
Bye.
Okay.